The advert's starting. I think I've got everything set up right. Looks like it for the most part. All right, so got less than a minute until I'm going to start. So yeah, this is No Man's Sky. I've played it for a bit just to get myself familiar with the controls and things. I know it got a lot of bad press when it first came out, but I don't know what they've done to it since then. I didn't look into it, but it doesn't seem too bad now. There's still a lot of issues that need fixing. There's some big gaps as well in the design. But yeah, I'm not really going to talk too much about it because I don't know that much about it. The purpose of this stream, and if it goes to plan, I'll be uploading it in chunks onto YouTube as well. I'll cut this every 45 minutes ish to make it easier to upload to YouTube. But yeah, I just wanted to start a new game, start fresh, and follow the tutorial through, just to give you an idea of what the game's like, what the tutorial's like, how it kind of brings you in, how it starts out, and kind of where you can go with it. There was an option at one point, I think, where one of the characters that you interact with gives you the option of either following the story or kind of doing your own thing. I chose to continue following the story at that point, but you can do your own thing anyway, right from the start. You can go off and start doing your own thing. You get several options as well. Okay, so I'm gonna jump straight into it here and start a new game now. Yeah, it's not just clicking either. You have to hold the mouse button down. You see the circle scrolling. But yeah, this is the game that I've played so far, 93 and a half hours. But I'm going to be starting a new game. You got four options. Self-explanatory, I guess. We're not going to be doing either of these. I'm not trying to do anything fancy here. I'm just going to start a normal game and see how it goes. It can take a while sometimes to load up initially, but I think we're almost there. Here we go. And there you go. The first thing you've got to do is hold down E to initialize. So basically, the first thing we do is find out that basically everything's broken and we have to fix it before we can do anything. Okay, so one of the first things that I noticed when I played through this before is there's no character creation screen at the start. You kind of have to start playing as this kind of standard character. which is a bit odd because normally in games like this, there's one of the first things you do is the character creation. Uh, but yeah, so this is our first look at the alien world. I believe it's random what world or what area of the universe you start off in. Um, and straight away, yeah, it said that my radiation protection is falling. So it's a radioactive planet, and it says there I need sodium. The scanner, C, okay. See, the scanner is critically damaged, so I need ferrite dust in order to repair that. And if you look at objects, plants and things like that, you can see what different things they produce if you mine through them. Like this one, for example, gives you ferrite dust. So if you hold down the left mouse button, you'll start activating your mining beam. If you look in the top right-hand corner, you might not be able to see that actually, because I think my picture's over it. But there's a heat bar essentially at the top right-hand corner, uh, and your mining tool will overheat if you use it continuously for too long. It'll overheat, so you have to just be careful of not using it for too long. It doesn't take long to cool down, so that you can use it again. There we go. So we've got the ferrite dust. We need to hit tab to open up the inventory. There's our scanner, and there's the damaged part. We've got the ferrite dust to fix it. There we go. So then right click to come back out of that, and then we can hit C. And then all around us, that'll have highlighted all of the different deposits of, or not deposits, it doesn't highlight the deposits. Okay, we need to get to some quickly then. There's some sodium. Actually, to activate sprint, you've got to press left shift, and it's not a press and hold kind of deal. You press it to activate it, and then you can release it, and it'll just continue to sprint until, if you look down in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little picture of a running man with again a kind of loading bar on it, and that's as much energy as you've got to sprint. Okay, so then, if you hold down E on plants like this, that's how you gather that stuff. Okay, so let's hit tab again. This is taken us into our inventory, and I guess you've got cargo slots, which you don't have unlocked right at the start. Those allow you to carry up to 500 units of the various resources, whereas in the general, you only get to carry 250 per slot. And technology is something different again. These are just free technology slots, so you can add boosts to your things. Oh, I need to fix that. Okay, so we'll click on that. We'll click the sodium. There we go. Uh, but yeah, so these slots are limited. You can, as you go through the game, you can visit various space stations and you can buy upgrades to the suit, and you can choose to buy an extra general inventory slot, cargo slot, or technology slot. But they get quite expensive, and obviously technology, if you can, that's the only thing you can put in here. You can't have any other kind of storage in there. So if you can keep your technology in there as much as possible, you can dismantle stuff and replace it as you go through. So that's not too much of an issue. But at the start, just don't waste your inventory slots, I guess. Okay, so I fixed the scanner. Okay, so we found the starship. Are these these floaty things? They're the Sentinels. Most planets, they're quite passive. You do get some planets, extreme planets, where they're very aggressive, and if they spot you, they'll straight away go into aggressive mode and they'll start shooting at you. Um, we'll see more of those. If I remember rightly, the ship's all broken as well, so we'll need to fix that as well. I don't think those are actual players. If there's an actual player in the same instance as you in the same area, then they'll actually have like an icon, a player icon over them. Those are just random NPCs. Okay, let's keep heading towards our ship. The jetpack, you got a jetpack booster thing. It doesn't last very long, uh, but it can help you get places quicker. It can get up things. It's one of the things that you can upgrade as well, so that it lasts longer. You can jump higher and things. I'll show you now. Actually, it only gets you. I think it gets you high enough to hurt yourself. Yeah, but it doesn't actually hurt you. You've got at the top left hand corner. You've got the bar at the top is a shield, and then once that shield goes down, you've essentially got 3 lives before you die. Yeah, you can see those on the stream. So essentially, when the shield goes all the way down, the next time you get hit, then uh, you'll lose one of your lives, and then a second and a third. Um, when you die, you don't lose any stats or skill points or anything like that. What happens is your current inventory goes into a kind of tombstone, and if you can get back to that tombstone without dying again, if you can get back to that tombstone, then you can retrieve all of your inventory, and you don't lose anything. But yeah, if you die a second time while you're trying to get back to it, then you don't keep more than one tombstone in play, as far as I can tell. So if you die again on your way back to your tombstone, you'll just that tombstone will not have anything in it. Anyway, so we've got to the spaceship. I'm just gonna fly in. Everything's broken. There's a bit of story there. Yeah, I mean, we find a broken ship. It's a kind of no-brainer that we should try and fix it. Okay, so we need a hermetic seal and some metal plating to fix that. You press E to get in and out of ships as well. Okay, so we need to repair the pulse engine, which means we need more ferrite dust. Just before that, actually, I'm going to go into the options. I'm going to turn the music volume down, because that is quite overpowering. Turn the sound effects down a bit as well. I don't really need to be able to hear what's going on. Okay, we're good. All right, so what are we doing? We need ferrite dust. Okay, there's ferrite dust. Oh, something to just be aware of. The sentinels. Not sure if there's any around. I think there are. If they're close by when you're trying to mine stuff, you'll attract their attention. They'll come over and scan you, and if they decide that you're doing something they don't like, which is pretty much anything, if you're trying to mine anything, then they will not approve of that, and they'll end up being aggressive and start shooting at you. They're not too difficult to get away from. But if you fight the Sentinels, then the kind of your threat level increases, and they send more after you, stronger, more powerful ones. There's not really many different kinds. There's only four different kinds. You've got the basic kind of scanner Sentinels, which are roaming around all over the place, and then at the next level up, you get a couple of I can't remember what they're called now, military type uh, Sentinels. They've got some armor shielding, a better gun, I think, as well. And then there's kind of dog-like Sentinels, four-legged things that shoot a laser beam at you. And then there's one higher than that, which goes up quite an extreme level to a walker thing that looks very much like one of uh, the walkers from Star Wars, the two-legged walkers. And it's got like a laser, it's got rockets, um, and that's pretty hard to kill. Anyway, okay, so metal plating, yeah, that's what we needed the ferrite dust for. If you left-click on a slot in your inventory, it'll open up the sort of construction crafting options. Right now, this is all we know how to make, and this tells you the different recipes, I suppose, the ingredients, the things that you need for them. So the metal plating takes 50 ferrite dust. We've got one of those. And next up was the hermetic seal, and I think this sends us off to some crashed uh, technology somewhere. Oh, we've got to patch that first. Okay. Okay, so when you hit tab, it'll take you to your inventory normally, but when you're standing close to a ship, it'll bring this up. Yeah, fix the component. And it's telling us to reboard the starship again and consult the computer again. Vital ingredients missing. Unable to make the... Yeah. So we've got to get to the distress beacon. Okay. So that distress beacon, oh, there you go. You can see it. Oh, it's there. Not far away. There's some crates and things over here. I just you can't get into these ones yet because you don't have the Atlas Pass. But a little bit later on, you get to craft one of those, and you don't need one per canister. Once you've crafted one, that's it. You just keep it in your inventory, and it allows you to get into any of these type of containers. Excuse me, that you find around. The other ones, it's hold down E, and it'll open them up. These ones, you can hold down left click to kind of clean off this rusted metal, and it'll go into your inventory. Haven't found a use for it exactly yet, but you can put it through a refiner and you can turn it into ferrite dust, which is much more useful. But if you hold down the scroll wheel or middle mouse button, if you haven't got a scroll wheel, that'll essentially just clean it up and drop it straight on the ground. Anyway, we need to deal with the distress beacon. This is quite a common theme through it. I guess it's a big deal, a big part of the story. These glowing red orbs and things. Okay, so we got the navigation data. I need to build a signal booster, which I need more ferrite dust for. Let's go find some more ferrite dust. so we need another metal plate. And carbon, which we get from most plant-based stuff. And this is one of the things that I mean is they've got plants in the game that you can't interact with. They're there, they exist, but you can't do anything with them. So they kind of they haven't done all of the plants. Okay, so we've got that. We need to make, what do we need to make? Carbon nanotubes. There we go. Sodium. So we'll hit C again to do the scan. There's some sodium over there. When you look at these things, they'll show you the distance. Like that one's 52 U away. I'm not sure what measurement that is. That one's 133, 137. That one's 200. But yeah, so that gives you an idea of kind of how close the things are to you when you go looking for them. Build a signal booster. Okay, the signal booster is actually movable. Yeah, so we'll just build it here then. We need to press Z. Build a signal booster. There we go. We'll put the navigation data in. Okay, so we've discovered this location over here, which is 850. Oh, that's right. Yeah, pick this up. Like it says there, hold down the middle mouse button, and that'll pick that up. Okay, just before we do run over there, actually, I'll just show you these. These are knowledge stones. And hold down E, and this will essentially just teach you a word. Learn the word Gek, the Gek word, forgive. There you go. So you can find those, they're scattered around all over the place. Each system is dominated by one of the different species. You've got the Gek, Korvax, and Viking. So there's essentially three different languages, three different alien languages that you don't know a single word of. Okay, that's probably not going to be good for us. But yeah, three different alien species. You don't know a word of any of the languages. So as you go through, we've started on a Gek planet in a Gek system. So any knowledge stones that we find are going to teach us a single word from that race. I've got another one of these. Let's see. You do find some useful stuff sometimes in these. Okay, so our toxic protection is falling quite quickly now. Have we got enough sodium to fix that up again? Yeah, we have. Let's do that. It's going to continue falling, but hopefully we'll find somewhere to hide. If you can get underground, or into one of the pre-built structures that are randomly scattered around, then the protection will stop falling. There it is, and this is a structure as well, so that's good. Means we can get inside there and hide from this storm. Okay, or we won't need to. Just gonna have a quick look in here, see if there's anything in this one before I go into the other one. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything in here except for this plant. What do we got in here? Salt. Okay. These are scattered all over the place as well. These broken technology, damaged machinery stuff. They'll take some various resources to fix, and then they'll sometimes give you something useful. Okay. When you find these buildings outside of this mission, quite often these will give you nanite clusters, which you can use to trade for technology upgrades and things for your suit, for your multi-tool, for your starship. So they're pretty useful. Okay, so we've got the hermetic seal, which means we need to go back to our starship now, which is okay, we can't find the starship. Okay, so we need to use F. No analysis visor installed, so we're going to need to install that. Build carbon nanotubes. We need more carbon. There you go. Need to make the carbon nanotubes. Multi-tool. Right. That's the third option along here. This, and then if we press E, it'll open up the technology stuff. We can add the visor. There we go. Test the visor. And this basically shows up like the resource deposits and points of interest and sentinels. The buried technology, uh, that stuff is essentially just for your own base building stuff. For anything that you want to build, it takes a certain number of these technology modules in order to kind of research it, I guess. Some cobalt over there. Resource drop. More cobalt. It's also used to scan the different minerals and things, and as you can see, you get these units, essentially the currency in the game. Gamma weed. Okay, I'm just going to scan a few of these things. You can get upgrades to your scanner, which means that you can earn a lot more units for scanning things, which makes going to new planets, new systems, and scanning the vegetation and the animals quite a good way to earn some money if you need it. And you will need it. Anyway, so we need to return to the ship over there. There are milestones and things as well uh, that get you sort of special achievements. As you increase your standing, oh, we don't want to go down there, really. Uh, the red cloud, that's not going to do anything to us. That's not dangerous. Um, but we don't want to go down into the caves and get lost down underground. Most of the cave systems are not that uh, deep. You shouldn't get lost and not be able to find your way out. But some of them are quite extensive. But yeah, we'll go around that. I'll get that first. The white ones are either health or shield. I think that one's health. We don't need that, so we'll leave it there. We still need to head back. But if you want to switch between first and third person, if you press X, that'll bring up some options, and you use the scroll wheel to go through the options. Photo mode gestures, um, a quick mode for recharging various equipment, summon your vehicles, and utilities. If you go to utilities, press F. This option closes quite quickly, but if you press F, then it gives you the option of changing a secondary weapon, toggling your torch, and toggling your camera view. If you press F again on there, that'll take you into first person. All of a sudden, you don't have any feet. um, but yeah, so you can. That's how you switch to first person. It can help when you're doing base construction and things in order to get things lined up straight how you want them. Yeah, for the most part, I definitely prefer playing in third person. It's a bit of a funny angle. Uh, it took a while to get used to it. Um, I'm not a huge fan of this. You're so far on his shoulder that it's kind of weird. Um, but yeah, it's a little bit jerky as well when you're running in or sprinting rather in third person. Some of the cargo drop over there. When you're inside those big structures, or inside your starship, your whatever protection it is that you need, like on this planet, it's the toxic protection that'll recharge. That's why I'm not going to bother recharging it myself. Um, Kind of a waste of resources when you can just jump in the ship and sit for a minute. So I'm just going to jump in there and you'll see bottom left. That's climbing in now. I'm just going to turn my sound down. Yeah, that's a bit better. If you, it's kind of weird how it works. If you tab out of the game, if you're playing it full screen, I'm not sure about windowed, haven't tried that. But the game kind of pauses and kind of doesn't. If you're getting attacked by sentinels and things and you tab out of the game, you'll still be getting attacked by the sentinels, I think. Um, if you open your inventory and things. Um, but it does pause things like your shield regeneration or your toxic protection regeneration, which is kind of weird. But yeah, we need to repair the other part of the ship. There we go. So we've got that hermetic seal now. There we go. So now we've got to fix the launch thruster. So we need pure ferrite. And oh, hang on, no, it wants us to do that bit first. Okay, so we can do that, and this is what we need the pure ferrite for. We're going to need to collect the ferrite dust. You can actually scan these. I don't know if it makes any difference to what you get from them. Some of them do have like secondary resources. You see that red dot there that's sort of on that animal's foot? Animals that you haven't scanned, that you don't know what they are, they come up with the red dot like that, and it goes green, as you can see, once you've scanned them. It gives you information on the left-hand side about what kind of animal it is. You get various missions as you go through. Sometimes you need to hunt and kill the aggressive animals. There's a couple of ways you can tell about what the aggressive animals are. One is obviously using the scanner to have a look at them, and it'll tell you what their diet is. And obviously, their diet is rotting fruit. If their diet was little animals or scavenging or something like that, then that would make it quite clear it was an aggressive animal. But these also, the friendly animals, you get the option to feed them. I don't know if you can see that, he's still running away. See if we can get that to come up again. No, it's just going to keep running. Okay, but yeah, you get the option to feed the peaceful animals. Uh, if you press right click, that gives you the zoom. There we go, locked on. There we go. It'll zoom twice, and then it comes back to the standard view. Okay, what are we doing? The metal plating. Okay, there we go. And oxygen. We need oxygen. So sometimes oxygen is a secondary thing from plants. It doesn't look like any of these are. So we'll use the scanner. There's another little animal there. Okay, so oxygen. There we go. Oh, it's carbon. There's oxygen up there. Oh, these almost got hit by it actually. These coiled up tendrils. You find them all over the place, various colors, various designs. They will attack you. It gives see it's does provide oxygen though, so we'll take some of that. Glowy red plant is oxygen. Hold down E, and that'll gather that up. So I need to deploy the portable refiner. I'm going to put it down closer to the ship, just so we don't misplace it, and remember to take it with us when we go. So to make the pure ferrite, we need to put the normal ferrite. So we'll just scan that. We need to put the regular ferrite into here. If you press X, yeah, that's what it is. And this, you've got your different inventories here. If you're close enough to your ship, you can access the ship inventory there. And then it'll do its thing. You can right click to come out of this, and you can go off and do something else if you want to. I guess we should gather some more ferrite dust, just in case that's not enough. Salt. I don't know why I'm collecting salt. Yeah, the light's gone green on this now, which means it's finished. I can't remember how much we needed of that actually. Let's have a look. Oh, I didn't mean to get into the ship, but we can access it from here anyway. So we need 50. Okay. Let him make some more of that. None of the animals, even the so-called aggressive animals, they won't attack you, which seems a little strange. You will every now and then. You'll see them attack each other, though. You'll have an aggressive animal come in and just kill some of the peaceful animals sometimes. Okay. So we should be able to fix the ship now. There we go. All right, so I'm guessing, yeah, back to the ship now. Something actually that I didn't figure out straight away, which is kind of handy to know. The portable refiner, you can fuel it with the just basic carbon, condensed carbon, or I think there's one above that as well, phosphorus, I think. Anyway, whichever it is, when you pick up the refiner, any fuel that's in it gets converted into the basic carbon. So it can be pretty inefficient if you start fueling it with the condensed carbon. If you've processed it, and then you keep picking up the refiner while it's still got a lot of fuel left in it, um, it's yeah, it's going to convert that into the regular carbon. Okay. Anyway, so Starship controls. If you hold down, what was it now? Alt, left Alt. You can kind of free look around. You can't look all the way around. You can only look sort of through that arc. But it does make it a little bit easier to see what's going on around you. Various different starships also have press W to take off. Different starships have different monitor setups and things, which means that you get sort of slightly better vision out of the different ships. So yeah, basically mouse controls. Turn that around. You can tilt as well by using A and D. W and S obviously accelerate and decelerate. You can't fly backwards when you're within a planet's atmosphere. The slowest you can go is 20 U's. When you're in space, you can fly backwards, but only very slowly. What are we doing? All right, we need to go out of the planet's atmosphere. We'll just head up into the sky. Left shift, I believe, is like a booster. It gives you quite a bit of extra speed as you're going through. And then you've got spacebar as well. If you hold down spacebar, that's kind of like not quite a teleporter. I can't remember what they call it off the top of my head. Okay, we're getting a message. Just press X, and again, this option thing, it closes pretty quickly. So just hit F again before that closes. So yeah, whatever this is, every now and then it'll keep messaging us and basically just encouraging us to keep searching, keep looking for them. Okay, so we need to go to the signal source, which is, oh, okay, that's my first alarm going off there, so that's 45 minutes-ish. So what I'm going to do is, just to make it easier to upload this in chunks to YouTube, I'm going to quickly stop the stream and restart it again. It'll be a few seconds. So yes, there it is. Okay, I'll be back in a moment.